Hello, I'm Jen Bruning, the Family Engagement Specialist in TEA's Early Childhood Division. This webinar will review the high-quality pre-kindergarten component referenced in Commissioner's Rule, Written Family Engagement Plans. In this webinar, we will review the high-quality pre-kindergarten indicators, family engagement plan requirements, the TEA's recommendations to develop meaningful engagement plans, and what resources and supports are available to LEAs. Let's briefly look at the high-quality pre-K components. There are 6 high-quality pre-K or HQPK indicators for LEAs serving eligible 4-year-olds. These indicators are curriculum, student progress monitoring, additional teacher qualifications, student-to-teacher ratio, program evaluation, and a written family engagement plan. In this presentation, we will be focusing on family engagement plans. A key concept to bear in mind when considering family engagement plans is the intention behind engagement. Meaningful family engagement builds stronger relationships and partnerships between schools and families. Consider these quotes related to meaningful engagement. The Global Family Research Project found that parents who are actively involved in their child's learning are more likely to stay involved as their child gets older. And the Head Start Early Childhood Learning and Knowledge Center emphasizes that family engagement is not just inviting families on campus for events or having a few resources linked on the district website. It's about partnering with families so that students can thrive. We'll next cover the statute requirements that outline the development and implementation of an LEA's Family Engagement Plan. Guidance on family engagement is presented in both the Texas Education Code and in Commissioner's Rule, or the Texas Administrative Code. Education Code indicates that LEAs should have a family engagement plan, and as you can see, Administrative Code gets more specific regarding the written plan as it relates to high-quality pre-K. Commissioner's rules include additional detail regarding the family engagement plan for pre-kindergarten programs serving eligible 4-year-old students. It should be noted that as of June 2024, the Administrative Code was changed to also require LEAs to include a primary point of contact and contact information in a family engagement plan. The Commissioner's rules also gives definitions for both family and family engagement, and then lists 6 components that must be included in the family engagement plan, which we will dive into on the next slide. These 6 components are required in the family engagement plan. LEAs must be certain to include each of these components along with examples of activities, events, and practices that embody each component in their plan. A little later, we will cover each of these more in depth. Commissioner's Rule also provides examples of strategies LEAs might implement that address each of these components. So, what does all that mean? It means that an LEA should write or develop a district or charter-wide family engagement plan that addresses the 6 statute-required areas and includes a primary point of contact and contact information for families. Then, an LEA will implement the events, activities, and strategies listed in the plan over the course of the school year. Next, the LEA should collect feedback and input from stakeholders so that they can make changes and adjustments to the plan for the next academic year. Following these steps with fidelity enables an LEA to achieve and maintain the positive outcomes of family engagement that we covered earlier. Once an LEA has developed or revised their pre-K family engagement plan, it should be made available to parents and families online. LEAs must post their plan to the district or charter website by November 1st each year. LEAs are then required to report their pre-K family engagement plan link and other high-quality pre-K indicators to TEA via the Early Childhood Data System, or ECDS, each year. Be aware that a link that connects directly to the pre-K family engagement plan should be submitted. Links to LEA homepages or other web pages are not sufficient. Now we will begin to dig deeper into the required components of a high-quality pre-K family engagement plan. The Early Childhood team at TEA wants to emphasize that ideally, a district or charter's high-quality pre-K family engagement plan should be written by a team, not just one individual. The writing team should include staff who work directly with pre-K or early childhood families, and those who understand and value the LEA's vision for their pre-kindergarten program. Ideally, the team should also include community members who work directly with families of young children and family members who represent the demographics of the community. Community members might include local child care directors, pediatricians' offices, early childhood home visitors, Help Me Grow affiliate teams, or other community agencies who are invested in the success of families with young children. Additionally, including the feedback and input of former, current, and future parents will help ensure that the strategies included in the family engagement plan are meaningful to the population it is meant to support. The high-quality pre-K family engagement plan will serve as the resource that drives family engagement for an LEA's pre-kindergarten program. In order to comply with statute requirements, a pre-K family engagement plan must include a primary point of contact, contact information for that individual, and each of the 6 family engagement components. Family engagement plans that do not include all of these required components are not in compliance with administrative code and cannot be scored as accomplished or exemplary by TEA. Let's go more in depth on each of the 6 required components of high-quality pre-K family engagement plans. The first of the required components is facilitating family-to-family support. We've included some questions for LEAs to consider to ensure they are creating a welcoming space for families. Does your LEA offer events that bring families together? Post a calendar of these events where families can review it. A district or charter might also offer a family directory so that parents can connect outside of school functions. The next component is establishing a network of community resources. Some families may have needs that require support in order for those families to participate in their child's education. Schools may not have the resources to support with all needs, so connection with community programs and agencies can be a benefit here. The questions shown here encourage LEAs to reflect on the needs of their families and whether these are needs the district or charter can support with. When needs that fall outside of the scope of the school are identified, how can an LEA help ensure families are connected to community programs that do have the resources to support? Districts and charters may also consider how they connect their families to these resources. Is there a staff member on campuses charged with making these connections? Are resources published and regularly updated where families can easily access them? Our third engagement component is increasing family participation in decision-making. A key element of meaningful engagement is creating opportunity for parents and families to provide input and have a voice in relevant decisions on campuses. Elevating parent voices is a common component in other programs an LEA might participate in, such as Title I and Districts of Innovation. Are there processes already in place in these programs that can be adjusted to include pre-K and early childhood families? Are early childhood families represented at school or campus improvement or planning meetings? Next is equipping families with tools to enhance and extend learning. Children learn best when school learning is supported at home. When developing this section of the Family Engagement Plan, think about what the LEA does currently to keep families updated regarding what's happening in the classroom and how a student is performing. Are there areas where communication can be strengthened? How does the LEA encourage two-way communication between home and school? The next component is developing staff skills and evidence-based practices to support families in meeting their children's learning benchmarks. Is family engagement featured as a strategy to improve student learning in district or charter-provided professional development? How are educators encouraged to collaborate with families to support students? Resources that LEAs might consider include education service centers and curriculum providers such as CLI, who provide engagement resources and trainings for educators. The last required component is evaluating family engagement efforts and continuous improvement. Much of the previous 5 components include assessing needs and input from parents and the community. This is the section in which LEAs should determine if strategies were successful, if adjustments need to be made, and how to continue positive impacts. Now we will begin to dig deeper into the actual development and writing of a high-quality pre-K family engagement plan. A meaningful, high-quality pre-kindergarten family engagement plan should promote partnership between the school, families, and community to ensure the successful outcomes for our youngest learners in pre-kindergarten programs. Collaboratively, we all share the responsibility to encourage and support initiatives, activities, and practices that enhance the success of student learning and achievement. Meaningful family engagement plans should include specific strategies and activities designed to respond to family input and community needs. Remember, the required elements included in Commissioner's Rule are written broadly so that they can be individualized in order to be impactful in pre-K programs across the state. The goal of engagement strategies should be to support student performance and outcomes by leveraging families as key stakeholders. Meaningful engagement strategies that empower families to take an active role in their child's education set an LEA up for continued academic and engagement success beyond the early childhood years. Strategic activities are intended to help districts reflect and develop their own unique events and practices. The TEA would recommend that an LEA complete a needs assessment to identify community strengths and areas where families would benefit from additional support to determine what strategic activities would be most impactful in the family engagement plan. After analyzing the results of a needs assessment or program evaluation, the family engagement planning team might consider: what is the purpose of the high-quality pre-K family engagement plan? How does it fit within the LEA's overall vision or mission? What is the intended impact of the pre-K family engagement plan for the school, for families and students? Does the current plan demonstrate these impacts? How can the school system's facilitation of two-way partnerships with families be improved? Does family input, needs assessments, or program evaluation indicate a need that isn't currently addressed in the high-quality pre-K plan? This is a snippet of our pre-K family engagement rubric. At the top are the 6 statute-required components we covered already, plus a primary point of contact and contact information. And at the bottom are 5 TEA recommended components. We included these in the rubric as we feel strongly that a meaningful family engagement plan goes beyond simply checking off boxes and focuses on responding to the needs of the community. By including recommended components, we encourage LEAs to consider both the needs of families and the resources and agencies available in their community. For example, we recommend that LEAs either create or partner with Texas home visiting programs, such as Parents as Teachers or Home Instruction for Parents of Preschool Youngsters. These programs support families of children under the age of 5 in the family's natural setting by providing supports such as positive parenting strategies, age-appropriate play and learning activities, and connections to health, household, and social resources based on the family's needs. We also encourage LEAs to consider what settings young children are transitioning from when enrolling in public school. Having a good idea of the needs and concerns of incoming families will set both the school and family up for success if those concerns can be addressed early on. This chart is developed from the Global Family Research Project. It is included here because it does an excellent job of illustrating what we mean by meaningful family engagement plans and quality engagement plans. This is a great example of how to shift thinking about engagement from just a number of required checkboxes to a means to address the needs of the community in order to share the responsibility for student success across stakeholders. Refer to the box that says continuous family engagement that starts early and lasts along a child's learning pathway. Engagement is not just while the student is in the pre-K classroom. What do you see when you view this framework? What sticks out? With engagement, home and school come together as a team. Schools empower parents and families by providing them with ways to actively participate, promoting them as important voices in the school, and removing barriers to engagement. Research has found that the earlier educators establish family engagement, the more effective they are in raising student performance. Children whose families are engaged in their education are more likely to earn higher grades and score higher on tests, graduate from high school and college, develop self-confidence and motivation in the classroom, and have better social skills and classroom behavior. There are likely a number of documents that an LEA is already using that can also support the strategies and activities in a high-quality pre-K family engagement plan. We encourage LEAs to reference other district documents to ensure all efforts are aligned across initiatives and to ensure that LEAs are utilizing comprehensive strategies to increase both parent and student capacity. As you look at this slide, keep in mind that meaningful engagement should not be siloed. It can be used to ensure that the pre-K family engagement plan, as well as these other documents, all reflect the common thread of the LEA's overall philosophy or mission when it comes to student success. For example, parent feedback about the transition into pre-kindergarten might shed some light on an area of need that an LEA hadn't been aware of previously. It would make sense then to add strategies to support this need into the pre-K family engagement plan, as well as the LEA's transition to kindergarten plan. LEAs should also consider that if a need is determined in the early childhood years, it might also apply to students and families outside of pre-K. Is the need also present among more specific populations, like special education students or emergent bilingual families? Additionally, consider if there are other community programs or agencies who can partner in the work to support this need. By threading strategies to support early childhood families through a number of LEA documents, engagement and partnership between school and home become a theme throughout a child's education. We will next cover some of the questions we frequently receive and some of the resources available to LEAs when developing and revising their plans. We're frequently asked if a Title I parent and family engagement policy can count as the high-quality pre-K family engagement plan. The answer to this, and any other engagement document an LEA may already have, is yes, if the LEA ensures that all of the high-quality pre-K required components are included in the document. We also get asked if the family engagement plan can be a district-wide plan or if it can be relevant to just one campus. Administrative Code states that each district or charter that serves eligible 4-year-olds should have a family engagement plan. An LEA may make campus-level modifications at their discretion, but the district plan is the one which should be linked each year in the ECDS. Regarding family engagement plan due dates and submission, districts must make their high-quality pre-K family engagement plan available to families on their district or charter website by November 1st of each school year. The URL for the pre-K family engagement plan must then be reported to TEA as part of the ECDS submission each year, usually due at the end of June. There are a number of resources available on the High Quality Pre-K Family Engagement page that may be useful to LEAs. We have published the rubric we use to score family engagement plans, as well as a sample plan and a resource filled with sample activities for each required component. We also published a side-by-side guidance for LEAs to better understand the similarities and differences in engagement requirements for both high-quality pre-K and Title I Part A programs. LEAs may use this document to determine if they wish to develop one family engagement document that meets criteria for both programs, or if they want to maintain 2 separate documents. There are also a number of other online family engagement resources for both schools and families. We have included some of them here and encourage LEAs to research strategies and resources that will be beneficial to their specific communities. Lastly, the Family Engagement and Early Childhood teams are here to support LEAs with high-quality pre-K components and development of quality engagement plans. LEAs are encouraged to reach out to the Early Childhood Education Support Portal via this QR code or the ECE webpage of the TEA website.